Look at these photos on the screen. What do you see? A mosque, right? And a great man, Malcolm X. But hold on, take a closer look. There's a brother holding a gun and a sister rocking a hat that looks just like today's styles. Crazy, huh? These aren't actors. These photos are decades old. The story they tell is something you really need to hear. This is Harlem and its legacy. In this episode of Legacy, we're exploring how Harlem became a hotspot for American Islam. We'll look at Malcolm X's impact on Mosque No. 7 and how his assassination split his organization. You'll see the rise of the 5%ers and the nation of gods and earths, plus how the nation bounced back after the mosque attack. We'll also check out how local Muslims turned an old building into a mosque on East 116th Street and the story of Alianza Islamica on 125th Street, where Malcolm was born. These groups have educated thousands. Before we kick things off, take a moment to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. That way, you'll get notified every time we drop a new episode. Let's dive in. We kick things off on 125th Street between 7th and 8th Avenues in Harlem, where Malcolm X was born. Behind me is Mosque No. 7, where he started his Muslim journey with his brother, Earl Little. In Harlem, he teamed up with Elijah Muhammad, spreading Islam and building community. Just around the corner at 116th and 7th was Mosque No. 11, and at the other end of 125th, you had Alianza Islamica, welcoming many Latinos into Islam. Harlem started out as mostly African American, but quickly became a melting pot of cultures. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and other nationalities came to Harlem looking for better lives for themselves and their kids. Like Malcolm X and his brother before them, they found refuge in the message of Islam. Take a moment to notice the surroundings. Do you see the beauty? Can you feel the history? The spirits of the men and women who fought against racism and oppression, who danced to the rhythms of jazz and blues, whose laughter echoed through these streets. That's Harlem, and this is its story. These days, Harlem doesn't quite look like the vibrant place it once was. Our communities feel fractured, with gangs causing chaos and drugs invading our homes. It's tough to see our young folks drifting away from the rich teachings of their ancestors, leaving behind the culture and traditions that once shaped them. But you know what? There's still hope. As long as there are people around, there will be those who stand up for justice and equality. That's the true spirit of Harlem. Let's talk about the split. After Malcolm X, peace and blessings be upon him, was assassinated in 1965, Mosque No. 7 was attacked. His followers were forced to leave and abandon their posts. The following year, the Honorable W.D. Muhammad, formerly known as Wallace D. Muhammad, purchased the 116th Street property and rebuilt it as the World Community of Al-Islam. Meanwhile, the core members of the Nation of Islam regrouped on 128th Street, continuing their work under the leadership of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Both mosques thrived, attracting thousands of members and producing notable figures who continue to shape American society. At 116th Street, the mosque, also known as the House of Gods and Earths, became a hub for the 5%er movement. They mixed Islam with African spirituality, focusing on self-reliance and social responsibility. Under their guidance, young folks learned about their history and culture, boosting their pride and identity. The 5%ers also played a big role in the civil rights movement, joining protests for equal rights for African Americans. Just 2 blocks away on 118th Street, they held classes where people gathered to dive into discussions about their heritage, sparking growth and critical thinking. In Brooklyn, there's this awesome masjid called Muslims Giving Back, and they're really making waves in the community. Volunteers whip up meals every week, serving hot food to hundreds, no matter who you are. It's all about spreading kindness. They also dive into community projects like blood drives and cleanups. It's so cool to see how they're lifting others up and making a real difference beyond just their worship space. To tackle the challenges, a group called the Fruit of Islam, or FOI, stepped up. These dedicated members patrolled the streets, mediating disputes and stepping in to keep the peace. They also organized community cleanups and block parties, helping beautify the neighborhood, their goal to create a safer, more connected Harlem where everyone could feel proud of their community. Check out how Harlem has transformed. I'm standing right in front of the masjid on East 96th St. between 1st and 2nd Avenue. This mosque has become a hub for the Muslim community in East Harlem. Over the years, the congregation has shifted and now it's mostly Latino Muslims. Older folks remember when the area was primarily African American. These days, Friday prayers are packed with Latino Muslims, many coming straight from nearby schools and universities. You can really feel the sense of community and brotherhood inside the masjid. Everyone's focused on creating a warm, welcoming vibe for anyone who walks through the door. It's pretty special, don't you think? Meanwhile, at New York University, a diverse group of students and faculty members gather regularly at the Abu Bakr Asad Student Center, which functions as a masjid and cultural hub. The center serves as a space for Muslim students to practice their faith freely. The atmosphere is one of inclusivity and respect, embracing individuals from different backgrounds and beliefs. Inside the masjid, a diverse range of students and faculty members come together to pray, study, and seek spiritual guidance. The space is designed to be welcoming and accommodating, offering a peaceful sanctuary amidst the bustling campus. But let's go back to Harlem. To blocks from the 116th Street Masjid, nestled between 7th and 8th Avenues, stands Mosque No. 7, a testament to the enduring legacy of Black Islam in Harlem. Over the years, the mosque has faced its share of challenges, but it continues to stand tall, serving as a beacon of hope and resilience for the community. Currently, the mosque faces financial difficulties and struggles to remain open. Despite its rich history and contribution to Harlem's cultural landscape, financial constraints threaten the very existence of this iconic landmark. However, the spirit of Harlem runs deep, and many in the community are working tirelessly to ensure that the mosque is preserved for future generations. As we wrap up our tour of Harlem's historical mosques, we must acknowledge the contributions of these institutions to the social and cultural fabric of the community. Each mosque holds a unique place in the hearts of the people of Harlem, representing not just houses of worship, but centers of community, education, and empowerment. However, the reality is that some mosques in Harlem have fallen into disrepair, their significance overshadowed by the challenges of the present day. Many of these mosques serve as safe havens for generations of African Americans and Latino Muslims, providing them with a sense of belonging and purpose in a rapidly changing world. But now some stand empty, their doors closed to the very communities they once served. Amidst these challenges, there is hope. Young people like myself are stepping up to carry on the legacy of Harlem's mosques. Inspired by the courage of our forefathers and foremothers, we are working to revitalize these spaces, turning them into hubs of activity once again. We are committed to preserving the history and culture that these mosques represent, ensuring that they continue to be a source of pride for our communities. And that brings us to the final scene of our journey. As we conclude our exploration of Harlem's mosques, let's reflect on the profound impact these places of worship have had on the lives of countless individuals. Each mosque stands as a silent witness to the struggles, triumphs, and aspiration of the communities they have served over the years. Their doors have welcomed weary travelers, offered solace to the grieving, and provided strength to the downtrodden. Within their walls, people have found not just religious guidance, but a sense of belonging, community, and empowerment. So here I am, walking past Malcolm X Boulevard towards the 125th Street Mosque. This is my route every day on my way to the masjid. Passing by Malcolm X Boulevard reminds me of the struggles and triumphs of the Black community in America. Standing in front of the 125th Street Mosque, I feel a sense of history and purpose. This mosque played a pivotal role in the lives of countless African Americans, providing them with community, empowerment, and hope in tough times. It was here that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X, peace be upon him, taught and guided generations of Muslims, instilling in them the values of self-reliance, self-respect, and social responsibility. Malik Al-Saypeda, like many others, faced constant challenges as he tried to leave behind his gang-banging lifestyle. You know, after a while, folks get tired of explaining why they chose Islam over Christianity. For him, it was all about accountability. As a Christian, he played with religion, asking for forgiveness but knowing he'd mess up again. Straddling the fence led to some serious cognitive dissonance. When you're caught up in gang life, it's tough to align that with Muslim beliefs. He was uncertain about his future, whether he'd clash with rivals or even his own crew, all while trying to avoid prison. But for Malik and others like him, making the leap to fully embrace Islam wasn't hard at all. It's about giving your all, just like he did for the Latin kings. Once he shifted his mindset, everything changed. He couldn't hold on to that gang mentality anymore. Islam pushed him to control his anger and his desires. It really made him a better person. Interestingly, it was the Bible that led him to Islam, specifically John 14:15-16. It's a journey of transformation, right?